stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. leads the turnover of around 120 million pesos worth of aid to local government units of the Caraga administrative region, following the aftermath of relentless inclement weather. Employers group shares reservations regarding the Senate's proposal to increase the minimum wage by 100 pesos. The Senate leadership vows to compel religious leader Apollo Kibuloy to attend the Senate investigation on his alleged abuses to several members of his organization. And we will discover why the United Kingdom fell into recession for the first time since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, February 16, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardin Delgado. First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. personally assessed the situation of residents affected by floods and earthquakes in the Caraga region. The chief executive also ensured assistance to the local governments affected by the calamities. Miguel reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the turnover of around 120 million pesos worth of aid to local government units of the Caraga administrative region following continuous inclement weather in the area. The president led the situation briefing in Prosperidad, Agusan del Sur, where he was apprised of the situation in Caraga region. During the briefing, the president told local officials to coordinate with the concerned government agencies to ensure immediate response to the affected areas.
Yung prioritization talaga namin, uunahin talaga namin yung mga isolated para buksan, para madalan natin ang tulong.
According to the president, the government will continue to provide assistance to families who were affected by the trough of the low-pressure area in the Caraga region, particularly access to medicine and potable water. He mentioned the national government through the efforts of the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA is able to lend water purification machines to affected regions.
Sir, we still have 15 machines in Manila para hindi ko na muna bawasan yung sa Davao. That padala po kagad dito tomorrow.
Yun yung padala natin kagad.
Yes,
tapos pag nalibre, yung mga sa Davao na hindi na kailangan, sabihin nila hindi na kailangan, pwede na natin i-forward dito.
Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian has assured the continuous assistance to the affected areas.
We assure the local stakeholders that we have enough stocks, and if you need more, just tell the regional office, we'll keep on sending.
Meanwhile, Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa Jr. said they have already provided the release of their quick release funds to their regional office in Caraga. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Several senators questioned the need to provide a reason for withdrawing signatures on the withdrawal form for the People's Initiative. The Commission on Elections or COMELEC released a withdrawal form on Thursday, February 15, where a portion is allocated for stating the reason for withdrawal. Senator Amy Marcos believes there is no need to ask for such, and instead the signatures gathered from the People's Initiative should be disposed.
Ang labo nga nun mahirap pa rin kasi bakit ka kailangan mag-explain? Nung pumirma ka, hindi ka naman pinapaliwanag. Nag-aalangan ako kasi wa-effect Parang wala namang mangyayari nun for record purposes. Ano yun? Naintindihan ko kung bakit naging ganun dahil sabi ng COMELEC, tigil muna lahat habang pinag-aaralan yung resolusyon nila. Pero for me, dapat tapon na lahat. Talagang wala pang batas. So lahat yun, mali na to begin with. So kinakailangan, talagang ibasura muna nila. No need to withdraw your signature. Itapon na lahat ng mga signature na linikom at nakuha dahil sa suhol, sa panlilin lang, sa pambobola, at linaw ko lang ang taong bayan.
While the Comelec's move is a welcome development, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva says the signature withdrawal should be simple, adding that the public should no longer be asked for reasons as they have the right to retract their signatures. In response, Comelec Chairman George Irvin Garcia clarifies they will accept the withdrawal forms with or without stated reasons. The Employers Confederation of the Philippines and Philippine Chambers of Commerce and Industry, or PCCI, has expressed reservations regarding the Senate's proposal to increase the minimum wage by 100 pesos, arguing that it may not benefit the majority of workers in the country. They suggest that such a move could lead to potential repercussions such as reduced workforce and increased cost of products, thereby exacerbating inflation or raising prices of essential goods. Their concern is grounded in the fact that a significant portion of the country's workforce, 84%, comprises informal workers, while only 16% are formal workers. This dynamic, they argue, could result in unintended consequences for the economy.
Alam mo naman yung mga kumpanya, taasan mo ang sweldo, wala namang pakialam yung tinaas mo sa benta nila, walang pakialam sa kita nila. So anong gagawin? Isang bagay. Kung pwede ko ipatong doon sa presyo ko, na pwede pang mabenta, ipapatong ko. Yun ang nagko-cause sa inflation.
Kapag meron hong wage increase, maganda ho yun sa first 2 to 3 months na tinatawag. Pero after 2 to 3 months, yung honeymoon period, tataas na ho ang presyo ng bilihin.
Senator Cheese Escudero, however, disagrees with the Employers Association's stance. He contends that the opposition to a modest increase in worker salaries, which would not adversely affect the country's economy, is unwarranted. An official from the Department of Justice has revealed that the individual apprehended by Philippine authorities in Cebu yesterday, suspected to be linked to Al-Qaeda, is also alleged to have played a role in financing the 2017 Marawi siege. Dante Almento tells us why.
Members of the government's Anti-Terrorism Council, such as the Department of Justice or DOJ, the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency or NAIA, and the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLAC, revealed on Friday, February 16, that Myrna Mabanza, the suspected ISIS or Al-Qaeda terrorism financing facilitator, arrested yesterday in Sulu, is not directly engaged in terrorism activities in the country. However, she is responsible for distributing money to the local terrorists in the southern Mindanao, the Abu Sayyaf Group or ASG.
We cannot say that she's directly participating in any terrorist act, but she's participating in the financing, facilitating of financial support for the ASG and other terrorist organizations. So yun yung kanyang role.
The DOJ further said Mabanza received money from foreign nationals abroad, such as in Malaysia, Turkey, Jordan, Indonesia, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Based on the investigation, she received about $107,000 of financial support to sow terrorism. The part of it was used in the 5-month Marawi siege in 2017.
There are intel reports that somehow yung finances na natanggap niya from foreign supporters were used in the Marawi siege and other ASG activities and anti-government activities when the time na active pa talaga ang ASG sa kanilang campaign against the government.
The funds were allegedly transferred to the local terrorist group via different modes.
And this was through money remittances, and that is one of the modes where money from Myrna Mabanza was transmitted to the other ASG members. Sometimes it is from face-to-face, and sometimes it is through the money remittances. And when the money remittances were used, it is then where the AMLC was able to flag her down.
Meanwhile, after the arrest of Mabanza, the government believes it would have a big impact on the peace and order and development of Mindanao region.
Actually, napakaganda to ng accomplishment natin. No? At least somehow we were able to put down some of their financial structure para at least hindi na maglaganap ng ganito.
Dante Almento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police has executed another reshuffle within its ranks, with 4 ranking police officials being affected by the latest reorganization, which took effect yesterday, February 15. Among the notable changes, Police Major General Ronald Lee has been designated as the director of the Directorate for Operations, succeeding Police Major General Leo Francisco, who now assumes the role of director of the Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management. Furthermore, Police Brigadier General Sidney Villaflor, the current Police Regional Office 6 Director, has been reassigned as the Director of the Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development. In his place, Police Brigadier General Jack Rancy will take over as the new Director of PRO 6. These adjustments reflect the PNP's ongoing efforts to optimize its organizational structure and leadership composition to better fulfill its mandate in maintaining peace and order across the country.
And for the news abroad, as economic activity takes center stage in the run-up to a general election this year, UK falls into recession at the end of 2023 for the first time since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Office for National Statistics, or ONS, all 3 main sectors, namely services, industrial production, and construction, were down. Estimates reveal the gross domestic product, or GDP, declining by 0.3% in the fourth quarter of last year, a contraction far more than 0.1% anticipated by economists. Grant Fitzner, the ONS chief economist, says that economic inactivity was a major factor holding back growth, with the UK being the only G7 nation yet to return to pre-pandemic employment levels. Britain's economic growth was one of current Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's key pledges to voters, alongside cutting immigration and cutting the country's hospital waiting list. His Conservative Party has dominated British politics for a majority of the past 7 decades, with a reputation for economic competence. However, latest opinion polls show the main opposition Labour Party garnering more public trust. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Marvi. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notifications. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Senate leadership vows to compel religious leader Apollo Kibuloy to attend the Senate investigation on his alleged abuses to several members of his organization. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, in a statement, assures he will sign the subpoena against the religious leader. This comes after Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros formally asked the Senate chief to already sign the subpoena, which was issued by her committee last month. Zubiri explains a lot of work has piled up in his office, including paperwork that need his signature, amid their efforts to protect the Senate against attacks due to the controversial People's Initiative. Currently in Visayas for engagements, Zubiri says that the subpoena against Kibuloy has been prepared and will sign all the documents upon his return to Manila. However, Senator Amy Marcos is not in favor of the impending move, saying that the franchise issue of Kibuloy's Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, should be resolved first.
Nabigla naman ako kasi ang pagkaalam ko, maghihinay-hinay kami sa ganyan dahil marami pang issues tungkol sa SMNI. Ang usapan doon, isa-isahin para maayos ang proceeding. Nagulat nga ako at may mga member nga ng Senado, may mga senador na napupumiglas na kailangan isapina na si Pastor. Para sa akin, hindi dapat.
The consortium led by San Miguel Corporation will take over the operation and maintenance of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport within 6 months. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Earlier today, February 16, the Department of Transportation announced that the Manila International Airport Authority or MIAA Board approved the awarding of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport public-private partnership to the consortium led by San Miguel Corporation. Department of Transportation or DOTr Secretary Jaime Bautista said the concession agreement will be done within 30 days. The concessionaire will take over within a period of 3 to 6 months. This means that by half of the year, SMC will operate the main international gateway of the country.
Siguro it will take 3 months to 6 months, no? But we'll try our best to do it as early as possible, no? So that we can start the operations and maintenance of this project, no? By the private sector.
SMC said earlier that they are prepared to make the NAIA a world-class airport. It was dubbed as the worst airport in the world before. They will operate the NAIA for a period of 15 years and with extension of 10 years. According to MIAA and DOTr, it is timely that a private sector should invest to the rehabilitation of NAIA as the government lacks fund. Secretary Bautista said the NAIA should increase its capacity up to 60 million passengers annually compared to its current number of reaching more than 30 million passengers annually.
I think we do need a participation of the private sector. It's about time that we should try to do things and modernize this airport. Well, so far we don't have the funds.
We need to improve Manila International Airport, no? Because as you know, it is a very congested airport, no? With a capacity of 35 million passengers per annum, handling almost 50 now. No? We really need to modernize this airport so that we can provide better service to our passengers.
Within the first year of concession, it is expected that the NAIA will have its improvement to the technological system, expansion to the terminals, wider parking areas, and more reliable escalators and elevators. Furthermore, on the question whether the name of the NAIA should be changed, Secretary Bautista said it has not been discussed. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, recently initiated a significant clearing operation along EDSA, as well as in barangays Gaza and Apolonio, in response to a road complaint. During these operations, the MMDA meticulously documented various infractions, resulting in the towing of several vehicles found to be in violation of traffic regulations. Jed Neresina details why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, has received a complaint regarding the road between Barangay Baisa and Barangay Apolonio. It was reported that it's difficult to pass by, especially in the morning or rush hour due to road obstructions. And this led the MMDA to conduct a clearing operations in the said area.
We receive a complaint coming from our public concern na yun nga po, nahihirapan na po maglabas-pasok ang mga sasakyan dito, lalong-lalo na po pag umaga at rush hour.
The operations was also approved by the 2 barangays involved, and they doesn't have parking ordinances, so the MMDA has removed all obstructions on the road.
Last week po, tayo po ay nakipag-coordinate sa 2 barangay na sumasakop dito, which is Barangay Apolonio and Barangay Baisa. And they gave us the authorization and the go signal to operate. And sinabi nga po ng 2 barangay, wala po silang any parking ordinance dito po sa kalsadang ito.
The MMDA also issued violation tickets to all violators who have been caught violating traffic laws along EDSA. Some motorists have been given tickets for violating the no loading and unloading zone. Some vehicles, such as taxis, were also given a ticket for illegal parking. A motorcycle parked under Fernando Po Jr. LRT station was towed for the same violation. The owner of the motorcycle was unattended, so the MMDA towed it immediately and left a ticket notice for the owner of the motorcycle to return. Total of 50 apprehensions were recorded today, and 13 vehicles were towed by 9 towing trucks of MMDA. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Filipinos shared mixed views on the proposed heartbreak leave bill in Congress. For a social psychologist, there are advantages and disadvantages to having heartbreak leave. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
A proposed law that will provide heartbreak leave and emotional support has been filed in the House of Representatives. House Bill number 9931 was filed by Cagayan de Oro City 1st District Representative Lordan Suwan and is entitled the Heartbreak Recovery and Resilience Act. Under the said measure, employees in both the private and public sectors who experience emotional distress due to a breakup will be granted heartbreak leave. Employees aged 24 and below may avail of 1 day of unpaid heartbreak leave. Those aged 25 to 35 are entitled to 2 business days of unpaid heartbreak leave, while individuals aged 36 and above can take 3 days. However, the public has mixed views on this matter.
Nakakatulong siya kasi syempre mabibigyan ka ng space. So, space, peace of mind, kung ano dapat gawin in the future days.
Para sa akin, sir, parang sa akin useless lang yun. Kasi pwede siguro yun sa mga may, siguro hindi ka po sa pera, yung ganun. Or yung mga wala masyadong obligasyon. Pero sa amin na, katulad namin na maraming obligasyon, may mga pinag-aaral or something. Para sa amin useless yun. Kahit na broken ka, pwede ka pa rin magtrabaho. Kumbaga mas mahingibabaw pa rin yung obligasyon mo.
For the meantime, sarili mo lang ito iisipin mo, hindi ka mag-iisip tungkol sa work mo, wala kang iisiping deadline. Parang magbibigay ka ng oras sa sarili mo para wait lang, pause muna, hihinga lang ako, bigyan mo ako ng time, mag-iisip muna ako. After nun, sa time naman na yun, makakapag-isip-isip na siya, parang meron na siyang time para mag-move on.
According to social psychologist Joselito Banono, heartbreak leave can help promote the mental health of individuals who are emotionally affected by a breakup.
It will be helpful for their healing process because it gives them time and space to really rest and, process their emotions. So it's a good thing. It could be helpful for their recovery.
Nevertheless, some employees might abuse heartbreak leave or it could become a stigma or source of embarrassment in the workplace. Taking leave due to heartbreak may also lead to financial expenses.
It could also lead to abuse and misuse. I could think, there is a risk for that when employees avail for that leave. Kaya it's important when that becomes a law, ilagay talaga yung policy.
Meanwhile, considering perspectives from the Holy Scriptures, maintaining a healthy and peaceful mindset amid life's challenges, including heartbreak, is often grounded in trusting the Lord.
Kailangan lang magtiwala tayo sa Diyos. Mawawala yung depression, yung alalahanin. Kasi ang sabi ng Panginoong Hesus doon sa Mateo, sa 6:33,
Datapwat hanapin muna ninyo ang kaniyang kaharian at ang kaniyang katwiran at ang lahat ng mga bagay na ito ay pawang idaragdag sa inyo.
Hanapin muna ninyo ang kanyang katwiran, ang kanyang kaharian, lahat ng mga kailangan mo idadagdag sa iyo ng Diyos. Hindi makakapagdagdag sa buhay ang pag-aalala. Para maalis yung pag-aalala, ano ang payo ng Panginoon? Basahin natin ang 4:6 ng Pilipos.
Huwag kayong mga balisa sa anumang bagay, kundi sa lahat ng mga bagay sa pamamagitan ng panalangin at daing na may pagpapasalamat ay ipakilala ninyo ang inyong mga kahilingan sa Diyos. At ang kapayapaan ng Diyos na di masayod ng pag-iisip ay mag-iingat ng inyong mga puso at ng inyong mga pag-iisip kay Kristo Jesus.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, Amid the relentless Israel-Palestine conflict, fears are mounting for Rafah, the last relatively safe haven in Gaza. Reports indicate that Israeli forces have conducted raids on Gaza's largest functioning hospital, escalating concerns for the safety and well-being of civilians, including those seeking medical assistance. Jane Robles tells us why.
Israeli forces stormed the Nasser Hospital, the main hospital in Khan Yunis city in southern Gaza on Thursday, February 15. According to Chief Military Spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, they were conducting a precise and limited operation there and would not evacuate medics or patients by force. Hagari adds that Israel had arranged the transfer of medical supplies and fuel to the hospital in coordination with international organizations. However, Gaza's health ministry says Israeli troops ordered the more than 460 staff, patients, and their relatives to relocate into an older building in the compound, which was not equipped for patient treatment. Gaza Health Ministry spokesperson Ashraf Al-Qidra warns the main hospital would run out of fuel within the next 24 hours, endangering the lives of patients, including 3 infants in the neonatal ward and 6 in intensive care with no staff to attend to them. Israel's military justifies its offense, claiming that it had credible intelligence that Hamas had held hostages at the besieged facility and that the hostages' remains might still be inside. So far, as reported by Gaza's health ministry, the air and ground strikes in the Hamas-run Palestinian enclave has resulted in the deaths of 28,663 Palestinians, mostly civilian, more than 68,000 wounded, plus the displacement of more than 2 million residents. There are growing concerns for Gaza's southernmost city, Rafah, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu endorses the expansion of its offensive into the crossing, where over half of Gaza's population of 2.3 million has sought refuge. Jane Robles, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
More than 50 years after Apollo 17 landed on the moon, Odysseus lifted off from National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, on Thursday. Its mission to conduct the first United States lunar touchdown after the Apollo mission more than half a century ago, as well as become the first moon landing by a privately owned spacecraft. Danny Delieva will tell us why.
The launch of IM-1 Odysseus, a Nova Sea lander built by Houston-based aerospace company Intuitive Machines, was shown at a live NASA SpaceX online video feed. The moon lander lifted off shortly after 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 15, 2024, atop a 2-stage 25-story Falcon 9 rocket flown by SpaceX from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, Florida. The first radio signals from Odysseus were received at mission operations in Houston, Texas, moments later, as it started an automated process to power on its system and orienting itself in space. Odysseus is expected to reach the moon's crater, Malapert A, on February 22, 2024, after 1 week of flight. If it lands successfully, the mission would be the first controlled descent to the lunar surface by a United States aircraft since the 1972 Apollo crewed moon mission. It will also be the first lunar landing by a private company, Intuitive Machines. Moreover, the feat would mark the first journey to the moon's surface under NASA's Artemis Moon program. Artemis missions are envisioned as precursors to human exploration of Mars. IM-1 Odysseus will be the latest trial of NASA's strategy to slash the cost of the Artemis missions by paying for the use of spacecraft built and owned by private companies. On the contrary, earlier Apollo missions had NASA buying rockets and other technology from the private sector, but owned and operated them. Small landers such as Nova Sea are expected to get to the moon ahead of crewed missions, carrying instruments for lunar environment data gathering. Odysseus will focus on space weather interactions with the moon's surface, radio astronomy, precision landing technologies, and navigation. Last month, Japan became the 5th country to place a lander on the moon. In August 2023, India was the 4th nation to land on the lunar surface. Meanwhile, Russia's attempt at moon landing after 47 years failed on the same month as India's success. So far, United States, the former Soviet Union, and China are the only other countries that have carried out successful soft lunar touchdowns, with China setting the record in 2019 to successfully land on the far side of the moon. Danny Delieva, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Marvi Delfin, live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
Our kasambahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time, through the social media accounts of members Church of God International. And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God, from the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12. It says, "Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life." And those are the reasons behind the news, February 16, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.